Hi everybody, I'm Tom Barnas. This is Stories from the 78 from the Marquette Park neighborhood on Chicago's southwest side. You're looking at Nabisco, and that has been there for almost probably 100 years or so, close to it. Home to many generations of people, but specifically I'm talking about my mom. That's that lovely woman on the right there, and her time at Nabisco with these ladies that have become part of our family over the years. She also met my dad, or as I like to tell a story, my dad met my mom because he knocked her over and knocked her on her butt, picked her up, and then asked for her phone number. Well, 40 odd years later, they've been married, but it all is because of Nabisco and my mom finding a place to work when she arrived from Mexico, from Morelia, and she found Nabisco and bonded with all of these women there. And she has incredible stories of it, and I want to have a interview with her later on in the year, but I really wanted to honor her for Women's History Month and all the women that worked at Nabisco, some of them never even speaking English until they set foot into this Chicago bakery. And look at these wonderful memories that were from her retirement party that she was there. 30 odd years she was at this place. And it really did change the course of her life. I know it did, because when she applied for the job, she didn't speak English. She just memorized where she writes her name and her address. And then she got a job on the factory floor packing Oreos, of all things. It's a special place because that woman in the middle there with the corsage is my Aunt Maria. And then you have Juanita and Esperanza. All these women were effectively aunts to me growing up. And I remember my dad or my mom driving to Nabisco to drop each other off, to swap out the cars, to swap out the kids. One of my fondest memories is my mom and dad smelling like Oreo cookies when they would come home from work. I just thought it was cool. My parents were my superheroes, both of them. And as I've gotten older, I realized how much my mom had to really kick some ass, because she's a Mexican woman and people didn't really want to listen to Mexican women back then. But these women that you're going to see here in a second, they defined what it was like to work at Nabisco and to define Mexican-American women here in the United States. There's my mom on the right with her sister Maria and other women at Nabisco. Her friends and her have worked there for over 100 years if you combine all of their career trajectories. But they started something really great. In 91, you see right here, my mom started the Oreo line, the mini Oreo line at Nabisco, so much so that they gave her an award. And I'll tell you, Nabisco back then didn't get out awards. They just like to collect a lot of the ideas and not give people credit where credit was due. But my mom and all of these ladies that you see in this photograph were amazing. They were family. They were at weddings, graduation parties, birthday parties. And if it wasn't for Nabisco, my mom probably would have married somebody else, but it wouldn't have been my dad, and I wouldn't be here right now. But they did meet, they dated, and I mentioned earlier my dad knocking her over, but they are the perfect Chicago mix. The Polish guy, Mexican girl, the Polymex, as my cousins would call me, but they are what makes Chicago great. They are blue-collar workers, hard workers, and they had me, their favorite. Sorry, Brian and Mike. It's true. Look at us here. We're wonderful. But all due respect to my brothers, I am my mom's favorite. I mean, look at her. My mom is stunningly beautiful, by the way, too, if you haven't figured that out. Let me look at her in these photographs. My brothers, though, did come along, and my mom raised 3 boys to become 3 men, and I'm sure they love that I used this photo here. But, hey, my dad still had all of his hair, and it was mostly all the same color. And then we, grew up through the years. My mom guided us through our ill-advised Backstreet Boys phase where we tanned a lot. But we are the men that we are today because of my mom and dad, but really my mom and her guidance. Seriously, my mom has been my rock. She's an amazing woman. I cannot think of what my life would be like without my mom. And we almost lost her twice. She survived breast cancer twice. She had her own business for a while. And all along, my mom has done it with grace, with kindness, like in this picture here, welcoming my wife to the family after we got married, embracing her, giving her words of wisdom, and also, telling her her little favorite parts about the wedding, which you'll see in this next slide here, because that's my mom. Always with grace, always with kindness, and always above anything else with love. My mom makes us all feel loved. And if it wasn't for my mom, we wouldn't be who we are today. There's my brother Mike, my brother Brian, my dad Tom, and my mom. That's us. And that's, if you know, that's my mom. Because anytime you ask my mom to look down, she looks up, because that's my mom. And if you know her, you know her. But we all love her. And I wanted to honor her and all the women in my life in this photo here, Women's History Month. But it starts with my mom, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be the man that I am today. Love you, Mom.